Misplaced Priorities of a Nation, a Call for Accountability. In the land of the free, where the promise of opportunity is etched into our founding ideals, we find ourselves at a moral crossroads. America, a nation of unparalleled wealth and power, has lost its way. We pour billions into displays of might and mechanisms of fear, while turning a blind eye to the cries of our own people. The resources we squander on terrorizing civilians, on spectacles of military grandeur, and on policies that tear families apart, could transform lives. Instead, we let hungry children go to bed with empty stomachs, struggling families languish without support, and veterans sleep on the streets. This is not just a failure of policy, it's a betrayal of our values. Consider the absurdity. We can orchestrate military parades that rival the authoritarian pageantry of North Korea, complete with tanks rolling through city streets and jets roaring overhead, yet we cannot ensure that every child in this country has enough to eat. The cost of one such parade, millions of dollars in logistics, security, and equipment, could fund school lunch programs for thousands of kids. According to the USDA, 1 in 8 children in America faces food insecurity, unsure where their next meal will come from. Meanwhile, we flex our military muscle for no purpose other than to stroke the egos of those in power. What does it say about us when we prioritize pomp over people? Then there's the travesty of healthcare. We live in a nation where Medicaid expansion remains a political football, leaving millions without access to basic medical care. The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates that over 27 million Americans are uninsured, many of whom could be covered if states expanded Medicaid. Yet we find the funds to deploy militarized police forces to intimidate civilians, to tear gas peaceful protesters, to kettling communities demanding justice. We can afford the tear gas, the riot gear, the overtime for officers to stand menacingly in formation, but we can't afford to keep a mother from choosing between medicine and groceries. This is not governance, it's neglect. Perhaps the most galling contradiction lies in our treatment of migrants and veterans. We can charter planes to deport thousands of migrants, men, women, and children, to countries they've never known, tearing them from their homes in a cruel display of bureaucratic heartlessness. The cost of these deportation flights, often running into the millions, is justified as border security. Yet we turn our backs on the veterans who served this very nation, leaving them to sleep in alleyways and beg for change. The Department of Veterans Affairs estimates that over 40,000 veterans are homeless on any given night. How can we reconcile the resources spent on uprooting lives with the refusal to provide shelter for those who fought for us? And then there's the matter of power itself. We've seen the military deployed against our own citizens, tear gas and rubber bullets raining down on peaceful protesters demanding accountability. We've watched as dissent is met with force, as the First Amendment is trampled in the name of order. Yet we seem incapable of removing from office those who abuse their power. Leaders whose actions echo the worst impulses of authoritarianism, whose narcissism and disregard for the rule of law threaten the very democracy we claim to cherish. The hypocrisy is staggering. We can mobilize the full might of the state to silence voices, but we can't muster the collective will to hold accountable those who betray the public trust. This is not about left or right, red or blue. This is about right and wrong. It's about a nation that has the wealth, the ingenuity, and the resources to lift up every single one of its people, but chooses instead to prioritize fear, division, and spectacle. We can do better. We must do better. The solution starts with us, citizens who demand accountability, who refuse to accept that tanks should roll while children starve, that healthcare is a privilege while tear gas is a public service, that veterans are discarded while planes deport the desperate. We must call out these misplaced priorities, vote for leaders who put people first, and build a society that reflects our highest ideals, not our basest fears. America, it's time to decide who we are. Are we a nation that parades its power while its people suffer? Or are we a nation that invests in its future, its compassion, its humanity? The choice is ours. Let's make it count. Note: if you'd like me to search for real-time data or specific examples to strengthen this article further, please let me know, and I can activate deep search mode to gather additional information.